In this video, we're going to show you how to install a 4-panel bifold door. The first thing we'll need to do after unboxing our delivery is set up our door panels. Now when prepping your door panels, you're going to want to lay your doors flat, face down, with the hinges facing up. Now whether you're doing a 2, 4, 6, or 8-panel bifold door, setting up the panels is all going to be the same. The way you determine which way your door will open will be where you will place your hardware for the top of the door and where you will place your hardware for the bottom of the door. Since this is a 4-panel bifold door unit, we will have both left and right-handed opening doors. Now, if you're going to install a door that opens to the left, also known as a left-handed door, you're going to want to install your top pivot hardware on the left end of the door and your bottom pivot on the right end of the door. And if your door will be opening to the right, also known as a right-handed door, then your top pivot will go on the right end of the door and your bottom pivot on the left end of the door. I want to point out here that some doors from CDM are drilled with 2 holes on the top and 2 holes on the bottom. If that's the case, it's more flexible in that you could be either top or bottom on either end. Another similarity between our 2, 4, 6, and 8-panel doors is that they're all supplied with a wood ground. Now here are 2 different wood grounds for 2 separate doors, but the important thing is yours will be cut exactly to fit your door size. We'll use this to install the top track later, and I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. So now let's go identify our hardware. So we're going to take our hardware bag out, and you'll find each one of our 2-panel bifolds will have a wrench, a top pivot block, a top pivot assembly, which includes your pivot spring, your pivot pin, and your bracket, your top roller, your bottom pivot, your floor plate, 5/8" number 8 screws, a couple of wood screws, and finally your handle. Next, we're going to prep our door panels. First thing we need to do, we're going to take our spring. This is a very important step, and you want to put it right in that hole on the top of our door. From there, you're going to take your top pivot bracket, insert the top pivot pin so it goes straight up through, and simply lay it over that end. You'll notice now that your pivot pin is spring-loaded. Next, we're going to mount this bracket. We're just going to take one of our number 8 screws and go straight into it. And now the second screw. Next, while we're prepping the top of the door, we're going to attach our roller on the opposite side. What you're going to want to do is mark a 1/4 inch from the edge of your door. Just make a little pencil line right there. Then you're going to want to take your top bracket, place the narrow portion along where you made your mark, and fasten our top roller with 2 number 8 screws that were supplied in the package. Remember, there's 4 holes on the back of this bracket, but you only need 2 screws, and you make sure you do them diagonally. And now we're going to go to the bottom of the door and install our bottom pivot. Again, there's 4 holes. You only need 2 of them. You may notice on the back of your door will be 2 small blocks. These are there for shipping. There's no harm in taking them off or leaving them on at this point. So now we just prepped our left-hand panel for our 4-panel opening. We're going to prep our right-hand panel. Remembering, your pivot pins will be on the outside, your pivot rollers will be together, and your bottom pivots will be on the outside also. Now we're going to set up our track for our 4-panel unit. And this is actually a pretty easy part. Remember, in your package you got 2 of these little pivot blocks. You're going to slide 1 in each end of your track. Just like this. And you want them to be 1 inch away from the end with the holes facing out. It should look like this when you're done. Now we're ready to go install these doors into our 4-panel opening. And now that we've prepped our panels, one left and one right, we're going to prep our opening. We're first going to install our wood ground on the header. We're going to use the wood screws that were included in the box, and I've actually started them to make it a little easier. And I'm just going to mount this straight up into the header, placing this 1/4 inch back from the front edge of the opening. Next, we're going to install the track right over the wood grounds. Remember, we prepped it with a pivot block on each end. We'll come back and install screws to fasten this later. Next, we're going to install the saddle. Remember, with a 4-panel bifold, your saddle is going to be prepped with 2 holes on each end. You want those holes to be inside the closet. I'm going to leave this loose for now. Next, we're going to install the floor plates. With the floor plates, you want to remember that the slotted holes are going to match up with your screw holes in the saddle on the inside of the opening. We are leaving it loosely fastened for now, because we will need to adjust our floor plate and/or our saddle later. Next, we're going to install the doors. The first thing you want to do is take your top pivot bracket and make sure your pivot pin goes into the hole in your top pivot block. Your top roller is going to ride in the track up here, and your bottom pivot will sit directly on the cup on the floor plate. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to adjust the door. You notice that we have an uneven reveal across the top, and this happens in most closet openings. Your top pivot block will help you adjust left or right. Your bottom floor plate will help you adjust left to right, and your bottom pivot pin will help you adjust your height. Sometimes you'll have to make multiple adjustments to get it right. Just stay with it and work systematically. Try one corner first, then the bottom, and then the top corner, and then the bottom, and just keep going back and forth till you get it exactly right. Now we're just going to move this one up. If you want to watch that gap on top being closed, once you get it right, you'll have a beautiful door for years to come. Once we do that, we're going to put a set screw behind that bracket to permanently set our height. We're only going to screw it in till you feel it grab, and that will lock the panel height so it won't drift over time. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm glad this happened, because this is very common. There's a little unevenness here, but that's why we didn't fasten the screws on the back of the track when we first installed it. What we're going to do is just to bring this down a little bit. So I'm going to slightly open this door. I'm going to pull this track down just like that. Now you'll notice our reveals are even across the top. Now we're going to lock our track in place. Now once you're fully adjusted, you're going to want to tighten down your pivot blocks and your floor plates. Next, we're going to fasten the saddle. Remember, we left it loose before. Because we have a wood floor under this rug, we're going to go ahead and just pre-drill holes and use nails and nail it straight into the floor. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the aligners. These are those little plastic tabs that you found in the hardware bag. We're going to install one set down at the very bottom and one set about waist level. And these are going to keep your doors nice and flush with each other. And now the last thing we're going to do is install the handles. We're going to measure 39 inches up from the bottom of the door on the pivoting panel and make sure that we make a mark at 39 inches on both panels. And now I'm just going to go ahead and install the handles. not bad. This concludes our installation video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at the phone number or at the email address listed on the screen.